Yes, in the last class we have seen how these threads are incorporated and hence we are getting improper output, right? We will go to the next topic, that is a synchronized statement. If I use the synchronized statement, then I will get appropriate output. Okay, I'm not getting a improper output, I will get appropriate output. Let us see, our next topic is synchronized statement. Okay, now we will see the synchronized statement. Although creating synchronized method within a class that you create in is an easy and effective means of achieving synchronization, it will not work in all cases. If you are using this synchronized method with classes, you can create very easy and very effective, and also you can achieve synchronization. So it is not guarantee in all the cases, okay, but here it is suggesting, as the author is suggesting, it is not possible in all the cases. Okay, for example, you might want to synchronize access to some method that is not modified by synchronized. It means sometimes whatever you have specified a synchronized access to some method that is not modified by synchronized. Okay, whatever you fixed, whatever you declared that is synchronized, that should not be modifiable. If you modify it, then automatically values will be changes, right? This can occur because you want to use a class that was not created by you but a third party, and you do not have access to those source code. Now let us see why he is suggesting that, means why the thing will gives improper output, means this can occur because you want to use a class. So already predefined classes we are using, right? That was not created by us. Okay, predefined classes we are using that was not created by us, and we have not an authority to modify it. If you modify that code, source code, then what happens? If you modify that synchronized code, then what happens? Automatically your thread doesn't cooperate, you will get improper output. Thus, it is not possible for you to add synchronized to the appropriate methods within the class, even though it has been developed by some of the third party. So you are using those synchronized statement, but you are unable to modify those synchronized statements. Got it? Hence, there may be a chance of getting inappropriate output also, because you have not defined. If you define your own, if you can modifiable. Okay, how can access to an object of this class be synchronized? Now the question arises, how can access to an object of this class be synchronized? How to make the synchronized? Fortunately, the solution to this problem is quite easy. So then how we have to develop this synchronized concept, means here the solution is simply, you simply put calls to the methods defined by this class inside a synchronized block. Whatever the calls to the methods we are defining in the class, that should be whatever the methods we are calling in a class, that should be, we have to place in synchronized block. Okay, if you placed in a synchronized block, then this synchronized block is already defined by someone else, we are unable to modify that, but we can make the usage of our thread. Whatever the thread you are defining for your program, whatever the thread you are defining your program, whatever the priority you have set it for your program, that thread can be execute in a linear fashion. Okay, that should be execute in a linear fashion. They will be cooperated and you are getting a proper output. Okay, let us see what is the general form of synchronized block. Here synchronized is a keyword, and by using this you are creating one method. This is called as a synchronized method. In the synchronized method, you are supplying the object reference. Whenever you are referencing, you are applying the object reference, a block of statement will be executed when one thread has entered in this thread, one method as you are calling, no other method thread has to be called the same method. Okay, when one thread method you are calling by using this method, then no other thread has to be supposed to call. Okay, so here the same thing here specifying. Here object reference is a reference to the object being synchronized. Here the object reference is specified. It is a reference that object is being synchronized, which object you are making synchronized. Okay, so by using the object only we are using the threads, right? By using that threads you are executing a number of threads by using that object. When one object is entered in this synchronized method, all the threads which is used by that object must be coordinate, and no other object's thread request the same resource, same method. Here the resource means method. It is not supposed to call the same method. Okay, once a synchronized block has been entered, no other thread can call a synchronized method. So we are clearly given, once a synchronized block has been entered, no other thread can call a synchronized method. Once when thread has entered this synchronized method, no other thread has to call the same method until unless that thread has come out. How long? Because until the block has been exited, until unless the thread comes out of from this method. Okay, yes, let us see the last program only. In the last program, what actually we are doing in the last program, call me. Here we are using the call me method. We are supplying the message. You are making the waiting of your thread. If any interrupts occurs, you are displaying that interrupts. And here the class call me ends. You are starting the caller class implements runnable. You are declaring the variables and object declaration of this class, right? And the thread class object. Here the thread class object declaration. Here it is a constructor. In the constructor you are supplying the object as a parameter, and whatever the object you are taken, you are assigning this reference variable as well as a message, and whatever the value you are supplying, that will be stored in this message. And you are calling you are creating the thread of this class. You are calling the thread of this class. Whenever you call that start method, automatically it will enter run method, right? So whenever yes, whenever a thread of first object is executed, no object has to be called the same methods. Okay, because please observe here, you are creating the object of a thread and thread of this class, and you are calling the start method. When you call the start method, it will enter into the run method. In the run method, I am modifying this run method with synchronized block, synchronized method. Okay, in the synchronized method, target, what is the target? Target is the object of this class, right? Target is the object reference of this class. Okay, target right? Please observe here, target call me target is the object reference. You are supplying the object reference of this class and you are calling that method object reference dot call. So object reference dot call method you are calling, and in the message you have supplied this hello. First it will enter the hello and it will be finished. Okay, got it? Yes, here the same program and it will be execute, and whenever it enters into the one synchronized statement, no other object has to call the same method. No other object has to call the same method, run method. If it calls the run method, even it will enter here, but it will wait here. Why? Because one of our thread is utilizing this object. Okay, got it? Yes, waits for the thread to end, afterwards you are identified. Okay, let me check to run this same program with modifying little modifier, right? Let me save as, and sync1, let me make it as a sync1.java. This is the same program, I think so. And where we have to be modify, we have to modify here, right? How to modify? Synchronized of object reference is target. target or target, right? Target. Once it is enter, you are calling that method. Okay, this is the method, right? This is the run method, this is the class. That's it. I'm not doing anything. I will make a little modification and give here. Let me copy and save. Okay, that's we have saved. Let me compile. Sync1.java. Yes, sync1.java we have not seen, right? Got it. Let me save as sync1.java. Yes. Okay, no problem. Let me compile. Okay, we made a mistake here. Java C sync1.java. Now there is no error. I'm running Java sync1. So please observe here. Got it? If you observe here, the first thread has entered and it is waiting because the other thread is running, and it is also waiting because another thread is running. But whichever the thread is entered, it is not coordinating. We are getting an improper output in the last program. If you modify the above program with the synchronized statement, whichever the thread enter the first, it will finish first, and it has to make the usage of a resource first, and it has to quit. Once it is quit, then other thread is enter and other thread will be evaluate. Got it? Yes. So likewise, whenever you are developing gaming applications, in the gaming applications, most of the threads you are using for object moving and object firing and graphics designing, right? For example, PUBG or whatever the game you are taking, so the path to run the path, some of threads are using to run music, some of threads are using to run coins, some of threads are using, right? All it should have to be coordinate. If they don't coordinate, you are getting an improper output. So in gaming's concept, these are used in your threads for your coordination of the object interaction. If the object has not interacted, then you are getting improper output. Got it? So these kinds of codes you are using in your gamings. Okay, please observe. So we are placed this is synchronized method. If you place the synchronized method, the end process will be executed in the same not only in the gamings but in the concepts of operating system development, right? So Java, now if you are using this Android, right? If you are using this Android, then also we have to supposed to see whether it is coordinating or not, right? If n process are executing, whether they are coordinating or not. Whether if they are not coordinated, then it will give improper shutdowns, okay, or stroking of your systems. Whether your smartphones are hanging. If smartphones are hanging means some of the threads are incorporated, some of us threads are not passed in synchronized method. Okay, so that is a problem, because that it will get hangs. And also, you know, some of our memory concepts also, that is also one of a reason. So hence this synchronized method is used. So this is a very important concept, so you should know. This is for ask for 6 marks. Okay, so you have tried this example also, please keep in mind. This is a very important topic. Also, this is also one of a important topic. In one of our question paper it has asked, so you should not avoid any concept. That is why I already posted your question paper. You just go through it. Let us see thread communication using notify, wait and notify all method. Thread communication using notify, wait and notify all method. Okay. Yes, we are learning this concept. Thread communication using notify, wait and notify all. Java includes an elegant inter-process communication mechanism. As you know, what is the inter-process communication, right? Okay, this can be developed by using wait method, notify method, and notify all method. Okay, wait in the sense you are making the waiting of your thread. Notify means you are getting start resuming, right? Let us see what are the methods exist. These methods are implemented as final methods in object, so all cases have them. Hence, whatever the wait, notify all methods you are using, it is treated as a final method in an object, and you are using all these are in your classes. All three methods can be called only from within a synchronized context. So these three methods can be called only from within a synchronized context. The rules for using these methods are actually quite simple. So whatever the rules we have to follow is quite simple. Let's see what is the wait method. Wait method tells the calling thread to give up the monitor and go to sleep until some other thread enters the same monitor and call notify. So whenever you are calling wait method, whatever the thread is calling the wait method, automatically the thread has to release the resources which is using by that that has to be utilized by that thread and wait for a and go to sleep means it has to wait until some other thread enters the same monitor and calls notify. So whenever the thread is calling this wait method, what happens? Whatever the monitors is used, it has to give up and go to the sleep until some other thread has to enter the same monitor and calls notify. Until unless calls the notify method, the thread has to be waiting state. Okay, so let us see what is a notify. Notify wake ups the first thread that called wait on the same object. Whenever you are calling this notify method, it wakes up the waiting thread. Notify wakes up the first thread that called wait on the same object. Whenever the other thread has went for a waiting method, at that time it has to call the notify method. This notify method wakes up the waiting thread for the further process. Okay, notify all. Whatever the threads are waiting, what all the threads are waiting, then all the threads can be started by using notify all method. Notify all method wake ups all the thread that called wait on the same object. Whatever the wait method has called by the thread, it is calls with the notify all method. Whatever the waiting thread will get resume. Okay, so the highest priority thread run first. Even when n threads are waiting, when n threads are given the notification of notify all, then all the threads are started based on the priority of that thread. Okay, yes. So wait method tells the thread has to be wait. Notify method tells the waited method has to start wake up. Okay, notify all indicates whatever the threads are waited, that all the threads are get ready, but it will be execute according to the notification, according to the priority, right? Let us see the methods are declared within object as shown here. We are seeing how to declare this method. Already we have learned that whatever the method we are using, wait, notify and notify all, these are acting as a final, right? So final means constant, it never changes. Final, void, wait, throws interrupted exception. So likewise you can use the void method and final void notify method, final void notify all method. Yes, to understand this concept, let us see briefly. Yes, okay, here TikTok program is given. So TikTok program, please observe, this is a very important, right? It is just like as in a dice program. Okay, so based on that dice, If all the dice has come, then it has to wait or it has to run, right? Now let us listen carefully. What is the name of our class? TikTok. In the TikTok, you are defining one variable, that is a string variable state, and you are using one method. That method is a synchronized. That method has been synchronized. Synchronized void tick. What is the name of the method? Tick. And you are using the parameter as boolean running. Boolean running. If it is not running, I am writing one condition. Okay. If it is not running, state is ticked. State is assigning the value as ticked. And notify. Notify means the waiting thread will get stopped. Okay, and return. Whoever calling this a take method, it whatever the values are supplying, based on that supplying, it will check the condition. If this condition is not running, okay, if it is not running, okay, if it is not running, then what happens? If it is runs, condition false. If it is not runs, it will notify the waiting thread to stop. Okay, so system.out.println, you are giving the tick. Okay, now we are moving to the same method, same class. In the same class, you are displaying the system.out.println as a tick, and you are assigning the state as ticked. You are assigning the state as ticked. And whenever you calling the notify, it will come to the notify method. Let us see what is the notify method will do. In try catch block, once again we are writing one more condition, while state dot equals of top. If it is a ticked, you are comparing ticked equal to top. If it is not tick equal to top, then what happens? Your thread will wait for talk to complete. Okay, wait for talk to complete. It is waiting the thread until the talk has to come. If any mistake has happened, it will be catched by the catch block and it will be displayed thread interrupted. Okay, yes. So it has not finished. It will continue in the next slide also. Here the class TikTok synchronized tick method, notify method is ends here, catch blocks ends here. Okay, catch blocks ends here, and one more synchronized method we are writing. What is the name of a synchronized method? Synchronized talk. Synchronized void talk, boolean running. If it is not running, then state is talked, and notify means you are making the awake of the waiting thread. Okay, and returns. We will see by carefully, you have to listen carefully, otherwise you won't get this concept. Right, now system.out.println talk. Okay, next state become as a talk. You are notifying, right? While notifying, your semicolon is not there, please observe here, it is mistake. You are developing this notify method. In the notify method to try catch block, you are checking that condition state dot equals equal to talk to equal to tick. If it is not, then it has to wait. Okay, it has to wait. Okay, if it is equals, it is not supposed to wait. Got it? Yes. Next, if any interrupts occurs, it will come here. So here comes the end of your TikTok class. Now I am writing one more class. What is the name of a class? My thread. My thread implements runnable. My thread implements runnable means you are converting this class into a thread. You are converting class into a thread. Now you are declaring the thread object. What is the name of a class here? TikTok. Please notify here. So here for thread class object, you are declaring the object declaration, right? For thread class, you are declaring the object thread, and for TikTok class, you are declaring the object TTOD. Okay. Now you are writing constructor, right? By using the same name class, if you construct a method, then it becomes a constructor. In the constructor, you are passing two parameters. One is the string name y, because here already we are taken string state. Got it? So we have to supply this value also. And a TikTok object as a parameter. For TikTok class, you have already declared the object, you are passing object as a parameter. Object as a parameter, please make a note. Okay, now you are creating the thread object. While creating this thread object, you are creating the object of this class and the name of the, and you are supplying the name. What is name here? Name, whatever the value you are supplying, it will be passed here. Whatever the value you are supplying, it will come here. And TTOB is equal to TT. What is TTOB? TikTok object. For TikTok object, what you are assigning? This parameter, TikTok reference object. Okay, reference object. This object refers this object variable. Okay, now you are starting the thread. So if you start the thread, automatically run method has to call, right? Thread dot start, run method has to execute. While running thread run method, you are writing one condition. If thread dot get name, what is the thread? Thread object, right? Thread dot get name method, you are accessing the name of the thread dot compare to tick. If it is a tick, equal to 0. If it is a condition is true, it enter into the for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than 5, condition true. If the condition is true, you are calling TTOB dot tick method. So tick method as a true, tick method as true. Automatically condition it comes here. This is the tick method, right? In the running it as a true. If it is not true, not true means false. If it is a false, it will skip. If it is false, it will skip. So hence it will come system.out.print tick state is a ticked, right? Hence notify is not calls and it will skip. Got it? Yes. Now let us see after that what you are doing. TTOB.tick is as a false. Once you make as a true and once you are making it as a false. Whenever it is false, please observe here. Not false means true. Automatically state becomes ticked. Notify, automatically notify will calls. It will come here try catch block and checks state dots equals of top. Tick equal to top, false. Not false means true. Not false true means it has to wait. Okay, which thread has to wait? This thread has to wait. This thread has to wait. Okay, once it enters and once it waits. Once it enter and once it wait. Once it enter, it wait. Once it enter, wait. Okay, if this condition false, it will come here and you are making same for loop for TTOB dot talk. Your talk is also there, right? Once you are calling for the true, if you calling for the true, then what happens? Not true, false, it will skip and it will execute this, right? It will skip notify all these things, it will execute top. Okay, yes, that is the top. Got it? You are printing the top. Yes. Now let us see here the class method is also created and we are creating one more class. What is the name of a class? ThreadCom. In the ThreadCom, what you are doing? You are declaring the main method public static void main string args. And now for the TikTok class, what is the name of a class here? TikTok. For the TikTok class, you are creating the object as a TT, and for this thread class, you have created the object as a MT1, and also you are supplying the value as a tick, comma TT. What is the tick? This is the name, and TT is the object name, right? So tick is the name of a string and TT is the object reference, right? Object reference. And you are starting, when you are starting, this run method is execute and run method will calls these methods. Okay, this method will calls these methods, and once it will run for tick and once it will run for talk. Okay, likewise tick and talk will execute. Why? Because whenever it calls this true method, once this tick will be execute, and whenever it calls with a false, it will wait. Okay, when the condition is a false means here automatically it waits, and once it waits, the state is becomes stopped. Got it? Yes, likewise this object will be evaluated, and also we are identifying whether this thread is still running or not. empty1.thread.join. By using this, we are waiting the thread to finish the task. Okay, so likewise if you run this program, once it will enter into the tick state, and once it will be enter into the talk state. Once it is tick and once it is talk. Okay, so that's your printing here, where you are printing system.out.println tick. Once it is printing system.out.println talk. Once it is tick, once it is talk. Once it is tick, once it is talk. So how long it will be done? It will be done for the 5 times, because you have given the condition for checking as a 5 times. So one if it is a tick, one it is talk, one if it is a tick, one it is talk. Likewise this tick-tock-toe program will evaluate. Okay, yes sir. Now we are moving to the next concept, that is the suspending, resuming and stopping thread. Now sometimes it is useful to suspend execution of a thread. So it is better to suspend the execution of a thread. It is required for sometimes in your programs or in your operating system designs. Once suspended, it also simple matter to restart the thread. If the suspended thread is done, it is easy to restart that suspended thread. Let us see a program used for suspend, resume and stop method. If you observe here, a program is exist, suspend, resume and stop. Suspend means temporarily stopping the execution program. Resume means restarting the waiting process, waiting thread, and stop means completely destroying the thread, completely finishing the thread. Okay, which are the methods defined by the thread to pause, restart and stop the execution of a thread. So what is the suspend method? It will pauses the execution thread. What is the resume method? It restarts the paused method. And what is the stop method? This completely close that thread. Okay, let us see what are the general form of this resuming, suspending and stopping thread. Now final void resume, final void resume method, final void suspend method, final void stop method. By using these methods, we are making the thread to temporary stop, temporary stop, and whatever the temporary stopped thread can be started. And if you are using the stop method, means you are completely closing that thread. Okay, that thread has end, there is no life after the stop. The suspend method of the thread class can sometimes causes serious problems that involves a deadlock. So if you are using this suspend method of the thread class, it may causes some of a serious problems that involve deadlock. As we know what is a deadlock in your operating system, right? Okay, the waiting state, the waiting thread never changes its state. Got it? Yes. The resume method is also depreciated. It does not cause problems but cannot be used without suspend method. This resume method is also somewhat same thing as a depreciated. Depreciated means you can't use alone without suspend method. If you are using only the suspend method, then this depreciate method for resume will work. Otherwise there is no usage of this resume method. Okay, now stop method of the thread class can sometimes causes serious problems. So serious problems means, that is the thing, if you suddenly closes your applications without saving, what happens? Some of a serious problems, right? You have to create that same application once again. Got it? So likewise, whenever you're calling this a stop method of a thread class, then that thread never starts, that thread ends. Okay, you can start the thread, you can also stop the thread. Stopping the thread causes some serious problems. Okay, and now, since you cannot now use the suspend, resume or stop methods to control a thread, you might first be thinking that there is no way to pause, restart or terminate a thread. So we cannot directly use the suspend, resume or stop methods, and we have to first think when to use that suspend method, or when to use the resume method, and when to terminate a thread, right? So according to your assumption, it will be happens, right? But fortunately this is not true. Instead, a thread must be designed so that run method periodically checks to determine if that thread should suspend, resume, or stop its own execution. So it is not true whatever we have discussed that suspend, resume, and stop is based on the conditions. It is depends upon the thread which calls the run method periodically checks whether the thread should be suspend or thread should be resume or thread should be stop. Okay, it should be decided by your run method. If it is deciding by the run method means it is deciding by the programmer you. Okay, now suspending and resuming a thread for Java 2, we'll see. Class new thread implements runnable. You are converting this class as a runnable string name thread t boolean suspend flag. Here string variable, here thread object declaration, here boolean variable you have taken. You are developing the constructor. New thread string thread name, new thread string thread name. Okay, so if you are writing the constructor, then whatever the variables you are using, you are assigning. Name is equal to thread name, right? And t is equal to new thread. You are creating the thread of this particular class, and whatever the name you are supplied, that will be taken. Whatever the name supplied to that thread, it will be taken for this class. Okay, system.out.println, you are displaying output new thread plus t, whatever the thread t, it will be displayed. Suspend flag, you are making it as a false. For the boolean variable, you are assigning it as a false. Now you are calling the start method by using the thread t.start, right? Automatically it will comes to the public void run. In the public void run, we have written try catch block. In the try catch block, you are writing for int I is equal to 15, I greater than 0. It is one condition we are using. Whether condition is true, it will enter here. It will display the name, right? Whatever the name we are supplying, whatever the name we are supplying, that name will be displayed and for the ith time. And next you are making the thread to wait for 200 milliseconds. Okay, that is 0.2 seconds. The thread is waiting, and once it has wait, it will enter into this synchronized method. When the thread is entering into this synchronized method, no thread has to supposed to enter until unless it has been released, right? And whenever it enters, it checks for the suspend flag. If the suspend flag is false, it will skip. If it is true, the thread must be in waiting state. In the thread is waiting state, no other thread has to enter in this synchronized method. Okay, so here the synchronized method ends, here the for loop ends, here the try block ends. If the try is started, compulsory a catch block is exist. Here we are writing catch block catch interrupted exception key. If any mistake happens in this block, it will be catched by your catch statement, and it will be show this particular name of the thread as interrupted, and afterwards you are exiting. If no interruption is occurs, if it exists properly, the particular thread is exiting. Okay, so now we are writing another method in the same class. What is the name of a method? Suspend method. Void my suspend. Suspend flag, you are making it as a true. Okay, whoever calling this my suspend method, it will return the suspend flag variable value as true. Now you are using synchronized another method void my resume. So as we know what is a resume method, that resume method is making as an synchronized. So whatever the suspend flag, if you are starting, then once again you are suspending flag, you are making it as a false, and you are calling the notify method. Then what is the usage of notify method? The waiting state, the waiting thread will get stopped. The waiting thread will get ready. Okay, it wake ups. It wake ups means it get ready. It gets for execution. Yes, it will be happens. Here your main class will be ends. What is the name of a class? New thread. New thread class ends here. What are the methods we are defined? Constructor method. In the constructor method, you are supplying the this class object, and you are displaying this class thread, and first you are initialize that flag value as false, and next you are starting the thread. Run method will execute. In the run method also you are specified the synchronized method, and if this condition satisfies, the thread must be wait. So until unless you resume it. Okay, until unless you resume it. Okay, so here suspend method is also given. For suspending your thread, you have to make suspend flag value as a true, and for resuming method you have to make suspend flag as a false. Once if it is a false, then it awakes that waiting thread. Okay, here the class has end. We are writing one more class. What is the name of a class? Suspend resume. Now the name of the class is a suspend resume. It consists of a main method, and in main method you are creating the object of this new thread class. Okay, so what is the object of a new thread? Object 1. You are supplying this parameter as 1. Automatically it comes the 1 here. The constructor is initialized. In the name it takes 1. The thread as new thread as 1 will be created and it will be displayed, and you are starting that whenever it comes 15 thread name is 1 is 15 will show, and it waits for 200 milliseconds. After 200 milliseconds it will enter for the synchronized and checks for the condition, while suspend flag false, so it doesn't waits. Okay, so afterwards what we are doing, so you are creating one more object of the same class, that is object 2, and you are constructing that 2 will be initialized and everything will be set at the same thing. Right, now let us see. We are writing try catch block. In the try catch block, after creation of an object, automatically constructor initialization and these methods are initialized, this method will execute once. Afterwards what we are exactly doing, now try block. In the try block we are making thread to sleep of 1000 milliseconds. That means you are making 1 milliseconds to wait your thread. Okay, so after that you are calling object 1 dot my suspend. You are calling the suspend method. If you call the suspend method, automatically suspend flag becomes a false, sorry, suspend flag becomes a true. If it is a true, what is the purpose of suspend? You are temporarily stop. Right, so temporarily stopping, suspending of a thread 1 is possible, and the next thread dot sleep 1000. So once again you are stopping your thread for 1000 milliseconds, and once again you are calling object 1 dot my resume. For 1 milliseconds your thread 1 will wait, and whenever you call the resume method it will get stopped. Okay, whatever the waiting method, whatever the waiting thread, that waiting thread will get stopped. And next, system.out.println, you are displaying resuming thread 1. So the waited method has started, and next you are making the object 2, object 2 dot my suspend. That object 2 will be suspended temporarily stopped, and also you are making that thread to wait for 1 millisecond. After the 1 millisecond, next you are calling this method object 2 dot my resume. So if you call this my resume method, the waiting thread will be get started. Right, so that 2 will get stored, and afterwards you are giving the output as resuming thread 2. So thread 2 is get started. If any errors occurred in this block, it will be catched by this catch block, and you are displaying main thread interrupted. And also you are writing one more try catch block. In this one more try catch block, you are identifying whether the thread has still running or not, whether the thread has finished or not. Okay, sorry, still running is not there. We are waiting for object 1 dot thread dot join, means you are checking that thread has finished or not. Okay, by using this join method you are checking that object 1 dot thread dot 1 has finished or not. If it is a finish, then that thread has stopped executing. Clear? So you are writing try catch block. In the try catch block you are calling object 1 dot t dot join, object 2 dot t dot join. So if any interrupts occurs, it is catched by the catch block, and once the catch block is executed, this main thread interrupt will become, and if it is not there, finally you are getting main thread exiting. Okay, so if you try to execute this program, first it will start 1 and 2, 1 2 1 2 1 2, because if you see here we are making the thread to wait for 1 milliseconds, right? within that 1 millisecond the object 2 has started, and you are suspending thread 1. Whenever you suspending the thread 1, thread 2 will get stopped. Okay, and when you are resuming thread 1 and suspending thread 2, now thread 1 will start and thread 2 in waiting state. And when you are resuming thread 2 and waiting for the thread to finish, and both the thread is getting ready to complete the task. Okay, let us see practically. This is the last concept in this chapter, right? Let me copy notepad, file, new, paste here, copy, paste here, copying and paste, copy and paste. Okay, so if you try to execute, what happens? You have created two objects. These two constructors are initialized, right? After two constructor, if one thread enters, other thread has to wait, right? Got it? You are making the thread to, after entering this block, you are making it as to wait for this much of a seconds, and once it is true, it will wait, otherwise it will resume. Got it? When you call the wait method, what happens? When you call the wait method, what happens? Suspend method will be executed. You are making suspend flag as a true, and it will be evaluated. Got it? Yes, let me check. After this, you have to supposed to save, suspend resume, file, save, paste dot java, and confirm it you are storing in your drive, right? And coming here, compiling java c, suspend resume dot java, no error, java suspend resume. Please observe here, while displaying also it is waiting for seconds, right? Once again I'm running, so just observe here, it is waiting. Why? Because you have given that waiting method and suspend methods. When you call the suspend method, it is waiting for until for the resume methods. Okay, when you call this suspend method, it is waiting, and within that waiting time, this object 2 is your resume. Okay, object 1 you are suspending and object 2 resuming. Object 1 suspend, object 1 resume, object 2 suspend and object 2 resume. Got it? In the meanwhile, it will evaluate. Let us check. So please observe here. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter, and in this chapter we have learned thread concept, multi-thread concept, thread fundamentals, and thread states, thread methods. Thread methods are very important. Two types of creation of thread is very important, and synchronized is a very important. Okay, synchronized is a very important, synchronized method, and this join alive method is very important. Wait, notify all, resume, suspend methods are very important. It has been asked in somewhere as a 2 marks and somewhere else as in 6 marks. So hope you understand this concept. We will see in next class.